Hey guys, welcome to a live show. This is something I've actually never done before. Usually I'll have people come on my podcast, Sunday service, wholesale hotline, etc. And definitely we're going to have this guest come on wholesale hotline in the future. But I actually asked Kelly on my media team to reach out to Nasar. And I really wanted to do a collab with him because I see what him, Max Maxwell, and a bunch of his friends are doing. And I freaking love these guys. They are unbelievable. Nasar.
Yes.
Dude, your Beamer is sick, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Secondly, bro, I've been hearing so many great things about your guys' course that you and Max put together. I am so pumped to hear more about what you guys are doing over there, the collab that you guys did, collaboration over competition. But please introduce yourself to everybody. I'm basically going to interview you. I've got 3 or 4 really important questions I want to ask you. But tell us, number one, who you are, where you're investing, and then we'll get into some more questions.
All right. So I'm Nasar El-Arabi, and I've been investing in real estate since 2007. And I've been involved in real estate since 2007. Let me say that. I learned about creative real estate in 2010, did my first wholesale deal in 2011. And I got fired from my job September of 2012. So I've been doing wholesaling ever since. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. But I took wholesaling, right? I did my first wholesaling deal in 2011 before I got fired, right? And from there, man, I grew it. After I got fired, I grew into a business. Of course, we did the 6 figures and then a 7-figure real estate business, 7-figure gross. And so that's basically it. I mean, what was the next question?
Next question is, tell me about your and Max's course. I've been hearing so many great things about what you guys are doing.
All right, so the One Deal Away course. The One Deal Away course, man, basically what it is a course for the beginners or the person who has inconsistent deal flow, just to get them to consistent deal flow and get to 3 to 5 deals a month, And with that being said, so the person who's a beginner and likes our style of teaching, if they never done a deal or they have inconsistent deals, meaning that they do a deal every other month, what this course will do will get them to 3 to 5 deals consistently. And from there, if they want to grow, then they can grow from there. But it gives you all of our systems in detail. We get real granular. Now, we have this information for free on our YouTube channel, just like what you do, Paige. You give out the information for free. But if you want to consolidate it in one place, and the course can be, a great resource for you, because that's the only way you're going to get access to us, because we don't do one-on-one coaching or mentoring.
So I love that topic, right? The topic of consistency. And I love the topic of the fact that a lot of this information is out there for free. It is. It really, really is. In fact, I got a DM the other day and said, "Hey, Pace, I've been consuming all your content, but I'm lost." So, right, it's the same thing with you guys. Like Max, probably, I would say nobody has a better YouTube channel than Max.
Right.
So the content's there. Your content is amazing. I love following you on IG. What does it mean to go into a course where the information is already readily accessible? You can go find it anywhere. What's the difference between consuming it for free and going into a course? Now, besides the fact that I'm going to ask you a couple other questions, like I know you guys do stuff besides recordings, but just the recordings, tell me, why is it better to go into a course where the recordings are versus a YouTube channel?
All right, so the course, all right, first of all, let's talk about non-paid and paid.
Now, oh my dude, this is a whole topic for an hour, dog. I love this topic. Let's go. Do it.
All right. So if somebody needs to lose weight, right? All that information is on the internet for free on how to lose weight. You can find multiple ways. But chances are we're not going to do it, including myself. I probably won't do it. But if I pay this trainer, $150, $200 a month, I'm going to show up for every session. That's included because I spent my money and I want to get something back for it. So that's one benefit of the course. The second benefit of the course is with Mac's channel, you're probably going to have to go through 500 or 600 videos to piece all the information together. My channel is not that bad. You go through 200 videos, less than 200 probably, and I can give you all that information. You can piece it together. All right. But with the course, you're going to get step by step, right? So Pace, like when I look at you, first of all, you're passionate about what you do, right? You're very passionate about what you do. You're great at what you do. When we first met, yeah, we shared the stage together. However, I was learning as well, and I went on Amazon to get one of those recorders because you take a recorder out and all right. So you're passionate about what you do. You're great at what you do. And I've been doing this business longer than you. And there's some areas that you're great at, and you're just good at, and you excel at. But Pace wasn't built over a day. It took years to get to Pace Morby. All right. So it took years to get to that point. So that's where the step-by-step comes in at, right? With the course. And even with your program, it's step-by-step. Okay, you want to go from 0 to this level. We can get you there, but I need you to take these first 10 steps before you become Pace Morby, because that's not going to happen overnight. All right. Your students have a lot of success with the sub-2 thing, and it's a great way. One of my early mentors, that's why he picks up his deals, but it's a great way to build wealth and everything. But the purpose of buying this course, we want to get you the first 10 steps. And when something is new to the average person, I don't know your background before real estate Pace, but when something is new to the average person, a lot of times we have to work on ourselves and work on our mindset. We cover that in the course. We're getting certain people out of there because with subject 2, right? And this happens all the time for you because you look for this. But if I tell an average person that somebody just gave me their house for free and they're gonna sign,
bro, their brain starts oozing out of their ear holes, right? Like they lose their mind.
They don't. Why would somebody do that? That's stupid. They're gonna go on and on and on. They will have 100 reasons why that wouldn't work. All right. So we address that as well, the naysayers and things of that nature. And like that's literally how I bought my first personal residence that I lived in. Was subject to no money to the owner. Just took it, kept up the payments, and eventually, yeah. But it works. Is basically my point. And we have to fix people's mindset first, and we cover that in the course. So it's a step-by-step, the mindset, all the tools that we need, that you need to run a business, because you can't run a high-powered 6 or 7-figure business on free. It doesn't happen. I'm not saying you can't make 6 figures on free, but you need to have the right systems in place, meaning and the right tools in place. So you need to know this goes there, because I can give you a puzzle and, some people could figure it out, but some people, they need directions to know what pieces go where so it can be beautiful at the end.
Bro, I believe in coaching so much that I basically pay for everybody's courses, like all my buddies, right? Like I'll go to like Real Estate Doru. I just bought his sales course. I had somebody on my team go through and take your guys' course. Like I believe in it so much because it is a shortcut. People don't understand how important it really is, because you can go consume 500 videos. But here's what I learned. People will come to me in my Instagram DMs or on my podcast Sunday Service, and I'll get like 800 live viewers on that podcast. And you can tell the people that are just completely lost because they come in, they've never done a deal before, but they're asking me about the due on sale clause, or they're asking me about land trust and all these other things. I'm like, guys, let's talk about generating leads. That's step 1. Like, let's talk about generating leads. But what I love about what you just talked about, and I want you to jump on for a minute, is mindset. So I just came back from a mastermind. I met one of my heroes, longtime hero, a guy named Robert G. Allen. He wrote multiple books, one of them called Zero Down.
Yeah,
great author.
I read that. Yeah.
Amazing, right? So I meet him, his entire topic. I'm thinking like he's going to talk creative finance. I'm thinking he's going to talk about real estate. Bro, he didn't spend 1 minute talking about real estate. What he focused on was mindset. He said after 40 years of educating people, he realized the most important thing is not where their leads come from, their negotiation skills, or even their understanding of real estate. It's all about their mindset. Dude, that hit me so hard. So tell me, like in your guys' course between you and Max, what is the main thing people are missing in their mindset? Is it knowing things are possible? Is it thinking big enough? What is the main thing you're seeing that people are lacking in their mindset that you guys are helping out with?
Possibility. And it's just, oh my God, this just possibility, because they don't think it's possible. They'll buy our course, right? Now, okay, like let me and I, before I'm about to say, I'll make a statement. I understand that Illinois has regulation. The township of Philadelphia has regulation. Ohio has regulation. And there are other states pushing for regulation. I totally get that 100%, right? And you can still wholesale there. It's just regulated of how you can do it, right? And we have people from all over every state, and not the three that I named, but say, hey, you know what? I talked to my uncle. I talked to my friend. I talked to my friend who's an attorney. He said, "This, you can't do this. It's bad." And he showed me this article in Philadelphia that you just can't do. I'm like, listen, all right, you don't live in Philadelphia, all right. So that's a plus for you that you don't live there. So you don't have to follow that regulation. You live in New Jersey. You know, you can do this. You can do this business. You can make it work. So it's just getting through the people that it's possible, because Pace, people look at you and they think that you're not human. Oh, you special. You know, you have the full nice beard. I can't be like Pace. You know, that's Pace. He does that thing. You know, and they're not realizing that me and you both all of us been in positions where we were down and out and lacked, and just from a place of lack. But we had the mindset to say, look, I want more, I want to do more, and I'm going to do it. And they just not, you know, they can't get by to think that, you know, like, yo, we're not superhumans. This, anybody can do it. And that's what we're here, giving you the information. So they have these mental blocks that just won't let them get past step two. Step one might be buying the course, but step two, they just won't get to it. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. So going back to that, because I think there's 3 or 4 things that you guys are really supplying. So number one, you talked about people. This is a phrase. I've heard it. I didn't come up with this, but people pay attention to what they pay for. Correct. Right? So a couple of years ago, I was this crazy guy that would drive around in my Prius, and I would just post on Instagram, and I would say, hey, anybody wants to go on an appointment with me? I'm going to be meeting with my attorney today, private lenders, and I've got 2 buy appointments. So just jump, first 3 people that want to get into my Prius, meet me at this Circle K. And I would get 30 people that would show up at Circle K, and I would pick 3 or 4 people to jump in my Prius. I never met them before, right? And Nas, I'm thinking like, I'm helping these people, right? I'm helping these people. So I would do these ride-alongs. I did this for years. And then Brent Daniels calls me up and he said, hey, can I tell you something that you're not going to want to hear? I go, sure, man, you're my friend. He says, you're a dumbass. You're not helping anybody. And I'm like, what do you mean? He says, go back, track the last 100 people that you physically took into the field, and you gave them, like, not just, hey, read this book, watch this video, take these steps. You fed them the paradigm shift of what it feels like to be on a buy appointment, meet with an attorney, meet with a private lender. They've been there. How many of those people have actually gone out and done their first deal? And I go, I'm sure a shit ton, bro. I'm sure a shit ton. He goes, I guarantee you none of them have. And if they have, it's like 1%. So I go back. I literally spend a weekend going back and tracking the people. And I'm like, dude, they're not even a lot of these people aren't even in the game anymore.
Right.
And I call Brent back and I go, what, bro, what the hell? What's the secret? How are you getting so many people to be successful in your course? And he says, Pace, people pay attention to what they pay for. And if you just give everything away for free, they don't take it seriously. And that hit me really, really hard. So that's number one. People pay attention to what they pay for. I'm the same way. Last year I spent, and I know you're the same way. You have mentors and you have coaches that you work with. Like, dude, if I want to learn about taxes, I'm not going to go read a book. I'm going to read a book and go hire somebody to educate me at a very high level, right? So last year, my partner and I spent 20 grand on a 6-month mentorship all about trying to get our tax burden down to 0. Right? I want that learning curve, and I want to commit mentally through something I paid for. So that's one. You made a good point on that. Number 2, accountability, dude. Like, you're telling these people, A to Z. Don't start on Z like everybody is doing, and don't get lost. Follow the steps. Now, beyond the videos, what are you and Max doing to help out with that? Are you guys doing like a weekly call, a monthly call, anything like that?
Well, yes. So we promised 6 calls, but I've been going live weekly for that point. For that particular reason, I've been going live weekly. We're getting them now in like 2 times a month, so to keep the people motivated and keep the activity going on, because we have like a student like one Francisco, like he just made a comment over there. He closed his biggest deal, 29,000 with our stuff, and it's like he'll post it, and some people just don't believe it's possible for them. So we get on the call, we address questions and things of that nature. We have a certain app, right? That they have access to us, because sometimes Facebook can be a very noisy place. And people
the algorithm, dude. Like you'll get somebody to post something and the algorithm suppresses it. So like a lot of people don't see the post inside of a private Facebook group. What are you guys using? Like what do we use? We just switched over to a Discord. What are you guys using?
Discord. That's what it is. So
we just switched over to Discord. We just have somebody built it all out because you can control the conversation, which is great.
There you go. And like one thing about Pace and you and Jamil is like, yo, me and Max is like, yo, we actually do the business. Like we really do real estate. So you're running from project to project sometimes, and maybe sometimes things go wrong. You got to go out there and put out fires. And then Facebook, we just don't have time for social media to be right. So the app is a little better. It's more direct. So we have the Discord app. We can answer questions. And we also have the Facebook group, whereas I go in there daily. We do the monthly calls. So we do 2 times, going to 2 times a month right now. But yes, that's what we're doing to try to get people over that hump. And Pace is kind of, I remember you had the Facebook group where you let people listen to your calls and all that for free. And, so you become a better closer, which is extremely important no matter what business you do. But I used to do something similar for years, man. People used to hit me up, and because I've been on YouTube since 2012. Nowhere in hell did I grow it as big as Max or, one of those guys or something like that, right? So I've been on YouTube 2012, 2013. And back then I used to get a lot of activity on my channel, on my early stuff. And what happened was, right, people used to reach out to me, and I was excited. Oh, you reach out to talk to me. And I used to do lunches with people here locally. Hey, I'm gonna come do lunches and things like that.
You're just as crazy as I was.
I was just as crazy as you was, right? Lunches. And I would say maybe out of like 50 lunches, maybe 4 people did something. The rest was a waste of time. So fast forward, I learned the hard way too, Pace. I don't do lunches, don't do random lunches. And for that reason, the people, they just won't do anything. For years and years and years, I would meet with people. I'll meet with them for free, give them all the information. And then a big name real estate education company will come through town. They'll go pay them $15,000, $25,000.
Bro, that's low. I see some of these guys paying $60,000 and $80,000 to some of these groups.
Absolutely. And they'll go pay them and then come back to me for help or whatever the case may be. I'm like, nah, I just had to cut it out, man, because I'm like, they'll give me their login for the information. The information will be in there. Some of those national programs won't put it together the right way. You should put it together for a newbie.
Or they're talking about stuff that worked 10 years ago, right?
That too. And it's like, yo, you gotta, look, since you bought the big package, did they give you a coach? Yeah, they gave me somebody I can call. You should listen to them. That's why I started telling that. And then now I don't even do the lunch thing no more. Because
so what's interesting is that here's an interesting thing. You guys are collaborating, right? So you and Max are doing deals in your own business. It's 2 completely unrelated businesses. You guys are both doing deals. So I get this question frequently where people go, why did you become a coach? And I think we all ultimately become coaches and build programs for one reason. And correct me if I'm wrong for you guys. I've respected and looked up to you guys in a big way for years. Like even when I was, first starting out, We do a lot of wholesale. We do a lot of fix and flip. I'm just passionate about what I'm passionate about, right? Same thing with you.
Yeah.
But I've always looked up to you guys. And I know what happens when you are doing deals and you're talking about it on social media. Ultimately, what happens is you get overwhelmed with questions all day long, to the point where becoming a coach is almost like not even a choice for you. It's like, in order for me to organize my life and not be overwhelmed all day long, I have to put this in a succinct A to Z format so I can go back to living my life. Right. And that's what I love about you guys. When I've shared the stage, I've been so like humbled and blessed to share the stage with you guys. And I'm listening about the deals you guys are doing. I'm like, I love these guys. They've constructed their life in a way that their coaching program allows them to actually continue to do more and more deals and actually streamline their life. Is the reason you became a coach because you are actually doing deals?
Yeah. So the reason I did that, I've been giving out the free information for 2012, 13 on YouTube and on social media. And it's like, you become a coach by default. You become a coach by default. So you're absolutely right with that. And I just never worded it like that, but you just become a coach by default. So I just became the guy with the knowledge. And yeah. And so eventually, we put out a course just to consolidate the information. And I didn't even come with him with the idea. Like, he just brought up the idea and I'm like, okay, let's do it. So yeah, because you talk about, that guy's super busy, so. And
dude, he's slammed.
Yeah.
To the point where he had to go buy a plane so he could skip lines at airports and all that kind of stuff. So Nas, here's a question for you.
Right.
If I'm a student, right, and I'm looking at Nas and Max and the One Deal Away course, or anybody like Chris Jefferson or whoever, right? I'm looking at anybody's course. And then I have like 10 or 15 other people that I'm looking at. How important is it to learn from somebody who's actively doing real estate? Because I've had people blow me up in my DMs that tell me that I'm wrong because some of the best coaches in football are not the quarterback. They're just the coach. Yeah. And I'm like, man, my personal opinion is what it is, but what are your thoughts on learning real estate from somebody who's not actively in the business?
I don't recommend it. I tell people when people ask me, how should they better coach or what should they do? And they're like, yo, ask them about their last few deals. What deals have they done? Because what happens is like you said with those big programs, right? When they were really popular, I mean, maybe I'm not accessible as much as I used to, but I don't hear as people as much, getting got by these programs. Yes, it still happens, but not as much as it did at one point. But like you said, they would teach old, outdated information that doesn't work. Yeah. So if somebody's doing the real estate business today, they can tell you how they're closing deals, what they're doing, what methods are working for them as of right now. So that's why I think it's important, because you want somebody who's using tactics from today and not tactics from 10 years ago. You're in Phoenix, right, Pace?
Yeah, I'm in Phoenix, yeah.
All right, so you can probably relate to this statement. If I go do direct mail in Phoenix, right? If I do direct mail in Phoenix, let's say I do 50,000 pieces a month, I'll probably go broke soon.
Yeah.
Doing direct mail. All right. Same thing in Charlotte. It's just not that effective. But you still have coaches telling people to do direct mail.
Yeah, that's a crazy topic, because the only people I know that are doing well with direct mail are the people who are fixing and flipping every house that they get, right? Because you have to extract all the profit out of that deal, because the cost per contract on a direct mail piece, right? Let's say I go spend $20,000 in direct mail or $15,000 in direct mail, whatever it is. The cost per contract right now in Arizona for a direct mail is 10 grand. So I got to spend 10 grand in direct mail for probably 2 or 3 months to start getting my pipeline filled, right? Because direct mail is not something that just all of a sudden you start getting contracts. Sometimes people don't open your mail till the second or third time. And bro, I know direct mail well. I did it for 2.5 years. I don't know if you know this, but I used to be a Homevestor franchise for 2.5 years. So the We Buy Ugly Houses people.
Yeah.
And I spend an average of 20 grand a month in direct mail. their cost per contract right now is 10 grand. So you got to make 15 grand to break even. And some people will ask why. Let's say I get my first contract, I spend 10 grand in direct mail, I get a contract, I assign it, I make 15. In my opinion, you just broke even, because that 5 grand is to pay for your cell phone bill, your website, your this, your gas, all that kind of stuff. You didn't make any profit. You didn't make any profit, right? So it is tough. And so the only people I know that are actually successful in direct mail right now are the ones fixing and flipping. And that's not the easiest way to get into this business, is to jump into fix and flip first.
Ooh, there's so many variables with fix and flip, man, and there's so many variables that you have to depend on.
Right.
And all of them have to align and work out right. Which, so yeah, you can make good money, but you can also lose a lot. I've seen people lose a lot.
Yeah, it's not the greatest way to start. Now, here's the thing. The other thing I like about this is, if I'm learning from somebody, right? If I'm learning from Nas, where are you investing? What city?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, so you're primarily in Charlotte.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what's great is, if I'm a student of yours, not only are you going to help me connect with other students, maybe let's say I'm in Alaska, right? You'll help me connect with other students in Alaska and go, you guys should be working deals together. But if I'm in Charlotte, I can go to a guy like you and go, hey man, I don't know anything about fixing and flipping, but I got a great opportunity under contract. I would bring that contract to you and try and JV with you, rather than try and do my first fix and flip on my own. Wouldn't you say that that's a better way to start fixing and flipping?
Absolutely.
Dude, yeah, so many people go into that, they get obliterated. They then say real estate sucks. It's like, no, dude, you went about it the wrong way.
That was my introduction to real estate at 24. Back in 07, I bought my first house, and that's all I knew. Watching those flip that house shows, me and my partner. Fortunately, because we sold it in 08. It was in the market for about 8 months, but we sold it in 08. But me and my partner, we end up losing 7,000 a piece, so 14,000. So yeah, that was my introduction.
When that's your first deal, bro, that hurts.
That hurts. That definitely hurts. And yeah, man,
Well, what that does, Nas, is that goes back to the mindset, right? So let's go to the mindset you had when you lost 7 grand. Did you just say, I'm done? Or did you say this is part of the process? What was that feeling you had when you lost that 7 grand?
Fortunately, man, I was 24 years old, so I was too stupid to quit. So I was too stupid to quit. I was 24. And I encourage young people to take on the entrepreneur ventures while they're young, and they have more energy and they're not logical. Because if I was logical, I would have quit. So yes, fortunately, I was too stupid to quit, and I just kept going. I said, "Hey, wait, man, this real estate thing works, but maybe I did everything wrong." So I moved down to Charlotte because I was in Jersey. Moved down to Charlotte in 08. I bought a rental the traditional way in 08, another one in 09, the traditional way. Then I went to go get a third rental property. They said, well, your debt to income is too high. We can't give it to you. So I thought my real estate career was over. But I was reading the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Somebody seen me. They pointed me to the direction of the RIA. And from going to the RIA, Real Estate Investment Association, from going there, that's when I learned about wholesaling. No, wait, I don't need no money. Okay, I don't have any money. I don't need no credit. Oh, yeah, I don't have any more credit because the bank said I can't, and that was that, man. So I learned about creative real estate investing. But, people ask, do you have to get started with wholesaling? No, you don't. I mean, I like it because no matter what place of real estate, whether you be commercial, multifamily, commercial retail, commercial rentals, whatever, the most important aspect is finding the deal.
Right.
As long as you know how to find the deal, you can always eat. You don't have to go broke. So
Nas, here's my favorite question to ask. Okay, and I'm actually creating an ebook with my top 100 heroes. Right, like you, Max, Chris Jefferson, a lot of guys you run in circles with. You guys are all my heroes too. So I'm creating this ebook, and there's one question I'm asking all my heroes. I'm going to put it into an ebook for everybody. And the question is this. So Nas, you've been through the ringer, right? You've lost 7 grand on your first deal.
Yeah.
You've been kicked in the nuts probably 100 times along the way.
Right.
Nas, if I challenged you and I said, Nas, I want you to fly to a random city, have no money in your pocket, You have to start on a park bench and you have 90 days to go do a deal. What strategies, what lead source, what resources would you go and leverage right out of the gate to go get your first deal with? And nothing, like no relationships. The only thing you have, Nas, is your current education. What would you do different in a random city where you're not connected?
Job for dollars. Job for dollars. ASAP. Get to job for dollars. ASAP. And get that way. That's it. Job for dollars. That's how I got started in this business. But yes, job for dollars.
Tell me that. Tell me, how did you get started in the business driving for dollars?
Well, what I did was at the time I had a 9 to 5. Every Saturday, I would get in my car, drive for dollars, and it took me 8 months to get my first deal. Could I have gotten a deal sooner? Yes, if I had the knowledge I know now and with the sales techniques and things of that nature. But yeah, I would have dropped. I would have just drove for dollars. I would have, drove for dollars. And that's how I got started. It took me 8 months to get my first deal. Took max.
So, tell me why though. Why? You just mentioned it. You said maybe your education, maybe your sales skills. What is it that would be the biggest difference between the 8 months? Was it consistency? Maybe were there like 3 or 4 weeks where you took off driving for dollars? Were you driving for dollars every single day?
No, every Saturday. Every Saturday.
Got it. Okay, so you would basically for 8 months you drove 4 times a month. So you basically drove for dollars. What would that be? That's 30. What is that? 36 days you drove for dollars.
Yes.
Got it. That actually puts a different perspective on it. Just for the people that are watching it or brand new, is that Nas didn't drive for dollars every single day for 8 months. He drove 1 day a week for 36 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so let's say that I'm brand new. I'm in an area, right? I go out and I drive for dollars and I have 3 hours a day. Is there a certain amount of houses I need to drive for dollars? Have you ever come up with those numbers? Do I need to drive for dollars 1,000 houses before I end up getting my contract? What's your thought on that?
Okay, for whatever reason, if I send somebody to go drive for dollars, they'll come back with 5 or 6 addresses. All right, so I probably do like 100, right? At minimum, I used to come back with like 100 plus addresses when I was driving for dollars, and I was out there from like a 3 hour window, sometimes 4, But majority of the time, between 2 and 4 hours, I'll be out there, and I come back with 100 addresses, and then the next day, I do that on Saturday. On Sunday, I'll go. This is all pen and paper days, so this is all pen and paper. There's no apps at the time. So the next day, I would just write out. I would go on the city assessor site, do my research of who owned what. That's when the foreclosure crisis. At that time, when I got started wholesaling, so all the bank-owned stuff, I would just take off my list. Like I'm not a limb, and I would have out of 100, that met my criteria. I probably have about 20, 25 postcards going out per week. And this handwritten stuff, 20, 25 postcards going out a week. And then from there.
Bro, people's lives are way too easy compared to what you were doing, dog. Like you're handwriting these, you're doing like manual research, which I love. You're doing manual research and then you're handwriting your own postcards. Dude, people now just go into like, there's multiple apps, right? There's like, Deal Machine, there's Batch Driven, there's Landglide, there's all these apps that basically do all of that work for you while you're out in the field, which is crazy. Like you did it the hard way and you still succeeded.
I did it the hard way, bro. What I used to do, I had to go to McDonald's. And I picked up people, why do you work at McDonald's? Go to the Starbucks or Panera Bread because it looks more professional or whatever, right? I used to go to McDonald's because this particular McDonald's had a stronger Wi-Fi than the Panera Bread. And, Starbucks, you always got like 100 people on the internet in there. So, the internet wasn't fast enough for me. So I used to go to McDonald's. I used to put a headset in and just listen to motivational speakers and write this stuff out. Just different Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, all those guys at the time.
Bro, there's still to this day, in my mind, there's nobody better than Les Brown.
Yeah. So Tony, all those guys just listen, put it on, listen, and just keep looking for motivational stuff and stop looking for somebody else motivation, just doing it. But the reason why I did all that work, because I was determined to get out of my situation. I just couldn't. My why was I didn't want to work a job the rest of my life, and I couldn't see myself doing it. So I did what was ever necessary to do.
Love it. Love it. So I've got a question here, guys. By the way, thank you for all the comments. We have hundreds of amazing, amazing comments. You have a lot of fans in here, bro. A lot of people love you in here.
Thanks.
Desiree says, Pace, do you think that's a waste of time still? And she's talking about driving for dollars. I could not agree with Nas anymore. I think that anybody that has a low budget, right? And I think there's a lot of people who will tell you right out of the gate, go send direct mail, like Nas said. There's people that they go, oh yeah, do Facebook ads, PPC, direct mail, and you'll blow your budget. You'll blow your budget. Go drive for dollars.
Fast.
Save the money and go. There's 100 apps to use, but I'd say the top 3 that I hear are Deal Machine, Batch Driven, Land Glide. There's another one called Sales Rabbit, but that's kind of more for like different types of companies. But there's so many apps that do all of this. Go down those apps. This is what I've calculated, Nas. The average cost per contract, okay, for a direct to seller, like actually spending money, not from a referral or not going to a wholesaler. Like one of my favorite strategies is going to a wholesaler and saying, hey, give me your dead leads and I'll convert them to sub 2 or seller finance, whatever. That's free, right? But when we're talking about direct to seller actually spending money, there is no cheaper, more efficient way to go get a deal, especially when you're first starting out, in my opinion, than driving for dollars. The cost per contract that we found averages $250. That's with gas. That's with the app costs. That's with postcard costs. It's about $250. Now, the challenge is the first deal usually costs about $1,000 because you're still going through the motions and learning some of the stuff, right? While you're in the McDonald's and stealing their Wi-Fi and listening to Les Brown, right? While you're doing that, that might take you a couple of months because you're just starting out. So your first contract costs you $1,000. Now, what does that mean? My contract cost me $1,000 over a couple of months, but I got a deal that I assigned for 15 or 20. And so my net profit is between $14,000 and $19,000. Driving for dollars is the best way to get started, in my opinion. And it's obvious, like, dude, how many people have you talked to that their first deal came from driving for dollars?
A lot. And the reason why was out of like, that's what they need to do because they had no money for nothing else. They had no money to buy a list and everything else. So yeah, man, that was my first way. Yeah. So
okay, so that's my favorite question to ask everybody. So you would drive for dollars. You'd start in a brand new city. You'd drive for dollars. And what's your preferred method? Are you texting people? Are you sending them a postcard? Or are you calling them when you drive for dollars at this point? Like when a student asks you, what would you suggest? Or do you do all 3? Or do you do texting and calling? What's the best way to actually reach out to the seller?
Texting and calling. I recommend telling them to text them and call them. Get the number, call them, and then send them a text.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Ooh, this one's a good one because Nas alluded to this a little bit earlier, where you said that, there's some of these states that are coming out with this regulation and it's going to come more and more and more. I don't think it's a bad thing. I actually kind of like it. What are your thoughts on the regulation?
I don't feel no type of way. With industry like ours, where we're dealing with the average person's biggest purchase, and there's just some people who just will not and cannot do the right thing. So, I mean, yeah, regulation is going to come. Now, certain cities, do I like it? Do I like getting muscle to get a license? No, I don't like that aspect of it. And so there's some pros and cons. I like how Ohio did it. Basically, you can't just take a deal and put it on social media saying you're selling that house.
Right.
Right. Yes. So your contracts has to be very specific. Staying what you're doing. It doesn't have to reveal what you're making, but it's very specific on, what you're doing. And if you're doing it offline and not in the public eye, all right, fair game. So in some places it's terrible. I feel some places it's okay. As far as this question, right? Here's the problem. In North Carolina, a realtor cannot do subject to. Yeah, if you got your license, you're not like, there's no way around it. You cannot do subject to.
Is that an independent broker decision, or is that a state legislation?
It's coming from the state, right? They look at it and they call it fraud, or whatever the case may be, because the loan is not assignable, and you, as a licensed real estate professional, you were supposed to do the right thing in that situation. Say, hey, this loan is not assignable, so I can't take this loan subject to. So that's one of the reasons why I don't want a license, because as investors in most places, we play in the gray area. We just play in the gray area. It is what it is. I mean, yes, we're doing everything right, but there's a lot of gray area for it. You know, I have a property I bought for $1,000. Is now probably worth 100 plus easy. And that's as is price. Fixed up, you get more than that, but as is price. But why did I get that for $1,000? The person told me he wanted $1,000. You know, that's they told me he wanted $1,000. I said, okay, you want $1,000? Yeah, I got $1,000. I didn't negotiate. They told me the price. Now, as if I had a license and that person wanted to bring me to the board could then look at me and say, hey, you were supposed to give this person the highest and best offer of their house. And did you not know that $1,000 wasn't the highest and best and they can get more? So that's when I say that investors play in the gray area. All right. Because we give people the price they want. And as a realtor, they have to give the best and highest offer. Now, yes, realtors I know do the business, they can definitely wholesale. They make the homeowner sign documentation basically stating that with this, I'm not acting as a realtor. I can potentially sell your house on the market and get more money, but I might be in the market for 2-3 months, but I'm giving you a cash offer as an investor and not acting as a realtor. So, you know, get them to sign all the disclosures and everything. But subject to is one that you can't. They're not in North Carolina. I don't know other states. In North Carolina, they cannot do. And they can get in big trouble if they get caught doing it.
Lotto, the question you asked is, how can having a real estate license benefit you in seller finance deals? So here's my answer to that. I don't think it necessarily is a massive benefit, other than one thing. Sometimes some sellers see credibility in the fact that you have a license. That's it. Okay. Yes. But if you're good at establishing rapport and establishing credibility without a license, which is what you need to learn. You need to learn how to establish credibility, which is also one of the reasons why I hire mentors and why people come and hire me for mentorship, and Nas and Max, is that we can say stuff like, oh yeah, Pace Morby is my mentor, and you can leverage my experience to go get a deal with a seller. In fact, I'll talk to, student sellers all the time. So credibility is really the only thing that I can say a real estate license gives you in any scenario, outside the obvious of, well, now I have access to the MLS. But when I'm in like a course with Nas and Max, right, I can go leverage other students that might have access to MLS. So I don't need to get my own MLS necessarily to be successful in this business. It's all about squatting up and being part of a community to be highly successful. So Lotto, I would say no, dude. Like I personally, I hire real estate agents to list my properties. My wife is my agent, so she does all my traditional real estate listings. And actually, Nas, you hear about Jamil and my TV show we got?
I've seen you guys post about it. Yes.
Yeah. So my wife will be our real estate agent in the show. It's with A&E. Filming starts in 3 weeks. And we got a 5-year series, which is awesome. All about fixing and flipping, just traditional stuff, no creative stuff. So, but anyway, great question. Really, really, really great question. William Haney says, does Pace ever sleep? I try not to, man. Like, I'm so excited about this stuff. I'm so excited about hanging out with all my friends and doing real estate deals that I can't wait to wake up the next day and work on all this stuff. Like, go follow Nas on Instagram. You can tell this dude loves the freaking business. Like, and I love the conversations that you have, Nas. Like, you've been talking about, when you got fired and your freaking haircut, your style that you had, like when you first started, dude, you look like a kid, like 14 years old type of stuff.
Right.
It's so good. So anyway, guys, I don't want to keep Nas much longer. I wanted to do a collab with him because I've always looked up to him. I've been on stages with him. I look forward to being on more stages with him. Nas, how can people connect with you? Is there a place I can go, like, sign up for your course? My team has signed up for your course, so like I know it's amazing, amazing, amazing. How can, if I'm somebody watching, how can I go and sign up for your course?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So basically, what I want to do, what I would like to say, you can go to my Instagram page, Real Estate Doru. I have the link in my bio. It's going to say like the 50% off. You can just click on that link for the course, take you directly to the course. You can find me on YouTube, Real Estate Doru. You can go to my blog, realestatedoru.com, put your name and email in, and you'll get a free 9-week course. So, because what I want you to do is ultimately look at my free stuff, look at Mac's free stuff, make sure that you like my teaching style. You don't want to, because I can't learn from everybody. Like some people, I just don't, I just can't learn from them because I have a unique way of learning. I was never an A+ student. High school 1.8, cheated all through college and barely made it out. So, just make sure like I learn the style and things of that nature. But yeah, that's how you will find us.
Nas, you're the man, bro. I look forward to hanging out with you more in the future, and I'd love to do another collab with you. Jamil and I are actually going to be traveling to Charlotte in 4 months, so I'd love to come in, pop in, hang out for a day if you are.
Absolutely. Also, man, you and Jamil, bro, y'all got to get me like who the hell writes y'all scripts for those ads, man? Like, like,
oh my gosh,
nobody can compete in the real estate space. The retail side, investment side, like for ads, I don't think nobody can. We have to put you guys at the level of like just like the top YouTube commercials or something like that, bro.
Thank you, dude. We actually, so I'm in Beverly Hills right now. I'm going to be on the Wolf of Wall Street podcast later this afternoon. But Jamil and I rented the DeLorean from Back to the Future, like the actual car from the movie. And we're filming a Back to the Future ad talking about like, okay, like imagine you and I, Nas, are like together and we're walking down the sidewalk and we look over to the left and there's the freaking DeLorean. We're like, holy shit, dude, let's get in the DeLorean and go back to the future. So you and I get into the car and it's you and I looking at each other, where should we go? Right? Where should we go? Where should we go? And then basically we're going to go back to the future of when we were thinking about going to college or when we got a job. And we're going to like punch ourselves in the face and go, dude, get into real estate right now. So we're going to create this series using the DeLorean of like going back and solving like we should have gotten into real estate a lot earlier type of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Bruh, y'all minds is on a whole nother level, man. When it comes to
we're just having fun, dude. It's the same thing with you and Max and all your guys' buddies. Like, yeah. It's so fun being with you guys. Like when I was with you in Atlanta, I think the last time I was on stage with you, I could just tell you guys have like the best vibes, the best, relationships with each other. And it's not work for you. It's like, I get to go hang out with my buddies all day long.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And yes. So that's definitely fun.
Yes. So guys, go follow Nasar. He also just got a dope Beamer. I freaking love it. It's like one of my dream cars is the one that you got with the red leather. It's so sick. Go follow him on Instagram if you aren't already. And Nas, I'll see you on the next one, bro.
All right. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate everybody. Y'all have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, brother. Have a good day. See ya.